1. What is up, YouTube? It is HPJ here. How are you guys doing? Beyond the Brave, the next TCG OCG set, is giving us some more new cards to talk about. I haven't talked about anything from Beyond the Brave, have I? No, I don't think I have. But we are going to talk about them now because we're going to talk about a new invocation card and a new monster to go along with it. So first we have Invocation Chalice. It is a normal spell, and it says you can only activate one card with this card's effect, one card with this card's name, once per turn. If you have an Alistar monster in your field, grave, or banish, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon one invoked monster from your extra deck by banishing one monster from your hand or field, and one monster from your deck. The second effect is that you can fusion summon one invoked monster, from your extra deck by banishing one monster you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls. Then we have Invoked Diatma. Level 8 Dark Attribute Fiend type fusion monster with 2900 attack, 1500 defense. Requires one Alistar monster plus one special summon monster from the extra deck. You only use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn. When this card is fusion summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Destroy all monsters your opponent control. All monsters your opponent Destroy all monsters special summon. All your opponent's monsters special summon from the extra deck. Destroy all special traps your opponent controls. The second effect is when your opponent activates a card effect in the graveyard. Quick effect. You can manage this card to special summon one Alistar monster from your deck, and if you do, negate that effect. So, these two seem really solid. I want to talk about the spell card first because this is basically two variations of fusion spells. Whether you want to super poly and take your opponent's monster and use it for your own fusion summon, or thin out your deck of monsters and then go into a fusion summon that way. In most cases, this does sound pretty practical. It sounds like a really good thing. Crazy thing is that its secondary effect is just as good as its first, where you can easily fusion summon using a monster you have and a monster your opponent has to basically super poly into something, which in its own sounds really good. Like, there's really no bad way of using either of these abilities because they're both really good effects that can be utilized. And the method of things that you can do with either one of them makes it even more valuable of a fusion spell. And if I'm not mistaken, there are enough cards in the archetype to search for this, so that would be even more thing. I think it was also a safe thing to not make this a quick play spell, because just imagine if this was a quick play spell. This would be very nuts. It would be. It'd be very nuts. And you're like, okay, pick your poison. Do you want me to flip this over in fusion summon with Super Volley, or do you want me to go for the shit off fusion? Which one do you want? So, yeah, be very grateful about that. But also, yeah, this card is very damning. Next up is the monster. And I think a lot of people are going to love to Super Poly with this card. To either wipe out your opponent's special summon monsters from the extra deck, or go for the Summon Trap cards to get rid of them in case they cause a problem. To me, I feel like just either one of these can be really good. It's just timing. You have to be very precise on what time of which window do you want to open in order to trigger this card's effect. The other thing too is that the second effect to special summon a monster when an effect in the graveyard is activated, I think would be pretty good as well for another setup situation to go into Super Poly. So like I said, still really amazing cards. Utilizing them is what's going to make them key. And that's literally all I have to say. I think, honestly, just nice artwork. But definitely a lot of things to add to it. Which I'm just going to purposely wait for it and see what they do. So, okay, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. First off, I want to just give a nice shout out to Respect Yu-Gi-Oh! For basically giving us this news because I have been extremely busy. I will try to get some more Yu-Gi-Oh! News content up for you guys when I possibly can. And with that said and done, thank you guys so much for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care. Bye-bye.